Hello everyone, mums, dads, parents, carers, New Year 7. My name is Parental. I'm head teacher at Worthing High and here to welcome you to your transition event for this year. Before we start, can I only apologise for having to do things in this virtual way. I think we all would appreciate that we would work in a face-to-face mode, but unfortunately, due to our current COVID restrictions, we're not able to operate in that manner. But rest assured, the presentation that you will see and be able to share with your child is pretty much exactly the same as you would experience on the day and, more importantly, on the transition evening. So what we've got is my senior leadership colleagues with their presentations, the Year 7 team with their presentations and information, and other members of staff in terms of the expectations, what can they expect when they join the school, where they can go, who they can talk to, all the relevant information that they need in terms of transitioning from their primary school to the secondary, and hopefully that will answer any of the questions that you do have. If there are any additional questions, there is a separate transition email that we put at the end of this presentation. Please feel free to email that in and we'll hopefully be able to answer those questions. We're delighted to be able to welcome you to our school. We're excited to see you join the school. I know most of you will be coming to the summer school in August, so we're excited to see you then, but also welcome you to school in September. Year 7, look forward to seeing you all soon. Thank you very much and hope you enjoy the presentation. And as I said before, any questions you have, feel free to contact us on that transition email. Take care, stay safe. Thank you. Hello, mums, dads, parents, carers, Year 7s. Welcome to our Year 7 transition presentation. My name's Pam Paniotu, and over the next few slides, I'm going to be taking you through a journey of what it's going to be like when you join our school in September and what that means for your child moving forward. We are part of the South Downs Education Trust. We are the lead school in that trust. And I'm also really pleased to announce that we've also had another school join our trust of Clapham and Patching based in Amring. So we are a continually growing and expanding school and something that I'm delighted to say we're very much pleased to be part of. I'd like to introduce my senior leadership team. Deputy Head Teachers, Scott Swift and Adrian Cook, Senior Assistant Heads Nick Mariosa and Martin Smith, and my Business Development Manager Karen Hayler. As with any strong leadership team, I'm very proud to announce that I have also a very strong extended leadership team, and this comprises of Sophie Palmer, Head of English, Tom Izard, who's the Head of Science, and newly appointed Grajana Carswell, who's Assistant Head for Maths. Also continuing with our extended leadership team, I'm delighted to announce Alex Simpson is also Assistant Head for Inclusion, and I have Mickey Earle, who's the Operational Designated Safeguard Lead and Behaviour Manager within the school. And not forgetting our Progress Leaders, pastoral leaders and APLs that make up the extended leadership team also. Can I also take this opportunity to introduce your Year 7 team made up of Stuart Townsend, the Progress Leader, the Assistant Progress Leader of Michael Ray and the Pastoral Leader of Vanessa Green. This is the year team that will take you through Year 7, and any concerns that you have, please use them. Stuart Townsend for the progress elements along with Michael Ray, and any pastoral concerns to go to Vanessa Green. This is a static team we've had in place for the last couple of years. They are a well-established, well-motivated, well-experienced team, and they are very confident in dealing with any of the issues that might come from the transition from your child coming from primary school into secondary, and you are in very, very capable hands. And if they have any concerns whatsoever, please do not hesitate to contact them. We talk a lot about the work that we will do with your child when they come to our school and making them feel confident and happy learners. But again, we need your support. And again, if things aren't working or if there's an issue, we need that communication to come from yourselves as parents. There is a really simple way to do that. We have our email communication system. We also have our the planners. They are really strong ways to communicate. But again, that communication, that link between ourselves, the school, and yourselves is vital. So please make sure that you actually use those communication channels, because by actually making sure that we can communicate, we can make sure that your child, our student, is making the best progress possible in their time at Worthing High. Other things that you can do to get involved, we have a very active parent forum, and again, our parent forum is where we discuss issues that we're looking to raise in school and get some parental feedback and advice and guidance in what their views might be. It is not a PTA, but actually involved in more the elements to do with assessment, curriculum, learning, and it's a good way for actually parents to actually feel part of the school and what is being developed. Going back to the PTA element, it's something we recognise that PTAs generally have had a strong history in primary school, and they seem to get to a secondary school and seem to stop that involvement. Our Friends of Worthing High, newly formed, and effectively in old money would be a PTA, but it's a very active group and always looking for committee members who have fundraising ideas in terms of raising monies for the school that come back into the projects that we've highlighted. So if you have an aspiration and wanting help with ideas or want to donate large sums of money, the Friends of Worthing High will be very glad to hear from you. Our homeschool partnership, our tutors, our planners, all those elements are in the planner. And again, where we've talked about Stuart, Vanessa Green and Rebecca Darling in terms of the Year 7 that tutor team, don't forget also your son and daughter's actual tutor should be the first port of call if there are things which aren't going well or you need some additional support with, or actually if things are going well, please don't hesitate to get in touch with your tutors. And as we said in that last bullet point, if you have a concern, contact your child's tutor directly. The Worthing Way core values is something that you will hear as parents and carers and our students a great deal. Community, resilience, integrity, respect, excellence are key fundamental core values that we try to instill in our students throughout their time at Worthing High. You'll notice that at the centre of the core values is well-being. That's something that we've become increasingly aware of, and that's something that without well-being being put at the heart of our core values, they actually don't mean anything. So without well-being at the centre for the child, you cannot have community, resilience, integrity, respect, excellence means nothing. And we will work really hard to make sure our students, not only will they leave the school with a good set of academic results and making the best progress possible for themselves, but we'll also make sure that we have instilled within a strong set of core values which will stand them in good stead for their future. And when they go on to college, the world of apprenticeships, whatever that is, if we've been able to give them a strong set of core values by the time they leave us, I think we can feel proud in what we've been able to achieve together.
Hello, my name's Scott Swift. I'm the Deputy Head Teacher at the school, and I'll be going through in the next couple of slides some of the standards and expectations we're going to have of students when they arrive in September. So what are going to be our expectations for students in September? Firstly, uniform. We expect all of our students to wear their uniform with pride and to follow the uniform guidelines as outlined in their student planner and on the school website. Students should be wearing the correct colour tie, and they should be wearing it so that we can see the W clearly. They should have their shirts tucked in, Blouses are not allowed. There should be a top button on a shirt so that students can do it up and do their tie up to that top button. They need to make sure that their skirt is an appropriate length and should come no higher than the knee. They need to make sure that they have got the correct PE kit with them in September. We've introduced a new PE kit for our Year 7s, and please make sure that you've ordered the correct one from SWI, our supplier. That is a fitted PE top for girls or boys, and we also have a outerwear which students should be putting on. Haircuts and colouring. Students need to make sure that their haircut is appropriate and not extreme in its style. We ask that students, if they colour their hair, use natural colourings and do not use artificial colourings. They should be of a natural colour and should not stand out. Jewellery, we don't allow any rings and we only allow one ear stud per ear. I would advise you to book in your sons and daughters, if they are planning on having their ears pierced over the summer, to do that sooner rather than later, as we will expect all of our students to remove the studs for PE lessons, and normally there's a 6-week bedding in period once they've been pierced. So if you're thinking about doing that, please can I ask that you do that in the next couple of weeks so that you've got the summer holidays for the holes to heal, so that they can then pierce and remove their earrings easily. It should only be one stud per ear, and those studs should not be large. False nails are not allowed, and we do not allow students to paint their nails with nail varnish that's coloured. They may paint their nails with a clear nail varnish for health reasons, or if they chew their nails and you're trying to prevent that from happening. Mobile phones, as a school, we've always had a very clear mobile phone policy here. Students are not allowed to have their mobile phones out during the school day. However, they are allowed to have a mobile phone as long as it's switched off and placed in their bag. It should not be placed in their pockets. And if we see students carrying their mobile phones in their pockets, we will ask them to hand them in. They will be taken for the remainder of the day and then returned to that student at the end of the day. Please, can you support us with that? With regards to equipment, later on in the presentation we'll go into further detail on what the equipment is, but please can I ask parents to ensure that they have the correct equipment and they have that in a named pencil case so that they can carry that equipment around with them to and from lessons, unlike in primary school where equipment has been provided to some of the students. Coats, jackets and hooded tops. Coats are permitted and jackets are permitted, but they should be placed into their bags so that they're not seen during the school day, or they can be placed into their lockers. We advise parents to put students in coats and jackets that are brightly coloured so that when they're travelling to and from school they can be easily seen. A hooded top of a sweatshirt-like material is not permitted in school. It is not allowed to be worn under their jackets or over their jackets, and won't serve them very well when it starts raining. With regards to conduct at break and lunch times and around the school, now clearly in September things are going to be very different, but what I would ask is that you pass on to your sons and daughters that their conduct at break and lunchtime needs to be as positive as it can be, and when they're travelling around the school they need to be adhering to the school rules of moving around the building in a quiet manner and not a boisterous manner that might disrupt other lessons that might be taking place or meetings that are taking place around the school. Essentially, I will convey this to our students in assemblies in September, and they'll be made very clear of our expectations. But hopefully that gives you an outline of what they look like. You'll see from this slide our school uniform and appearance policy, which is represented visually. Now you'll see some of the points that I've discussed previously, such as the skirt length coming to the knee and the tie being tied up to the top button and the logo being easily seen underneath the knot. That's how we would like your son or daughter to be wearing their uniform in September. Now the question I get asked a lot is, what shoes should I buy for my son or daughter so I can make sure they comply with the uniform policy? Please can you ensure they're black leather or leather effect, and in order to identify them as a formal shoe, the shoe should have a noticeable heel. That is what represents them as a formal shoe, and so when you're looking to purchase a shoe for your son or daughter, please look to purchase shoes that have a heel, because that will mean they are a formal shoe and they can be worn around the school without coming into conflict with our uniform policy. I'd like to talk to you finally about social media. Social media can be a hugely powerful tool if used correctly. Unfortunately, young people can fall foul of social media when it's used inappropriately and irresponsibly. As a Year 7 parent, your son or daughter should not have any social media. It's actually illegal for them to have social media under the age of 13. If they are using social media and they are under 13, then they shouldn't be. And so the very simple answer to your son or daughter when they are asking you whether they can have WhatsApp and Snapchat and whether they can view things on TikTok and other media is they should not have their own account until they're 13 years old. And we would ask you to please enforce that at home. Some of the major partial issues I have to deal with are around social media, where students are sat in their bedrooms or they're with their friends in parks and out and about with their friends, and as a group they can then send some quite unpleasant messages to other students, which can leave them feeling really vulnerable and isolated. We can all help with this by ensuring that we educate students, and we do here at Worthing High School, to be responsible in their use of social media. But please can I ask you that if your son or daughter has social media, that you go and check the guidelines about the age, because I appreciate I've used the age of 13 and that's applicable to most social media, but perhaps not all. And please check the legality, and if they shouldn't have it, then remove it from their phone. Yes, initially it may cause some conflict, but if every Year 7 parent at Worthing High School follows this guidance, then what we will have is a year group of students that when they're ready to access social media and when they've been educated in how to use it responsibly, are then doing so that they can use it in the hugely powerful way in which it's intended. So please can I ask that you review your son or daughter's social media accounts, and if you find that actually they do have a social media account and they shouldn't, that you have that honest and frank discussion with them, and then you look to remove it from their devices, and then have a conversation with them about why it's being removed. And quite simply, it's to do with levels of maturity, and it's to do with the fact that they are vulnerable when they're on social media, and there may well be adults who are using social media in a way in which is not positive and which may leave your son or daughter in a vulnerable position. So please look to support us with this, and we will look to support you in school by educating them in the best way possible.
Mr. Townsend, Head of Transition and Year 7 Progress Leader. The next few slides will introduce some transition elements for your sons and daughters coming to us in Year 7. So the very first day for our Year 7s at Worthing High will be Monday the 6th of September. So that's Monday the 6th of September. The Year 7s will be the only students in school. The rest of our year group, the years 8 through to 11, they will not return to school until Tuesday the 7th of September. But Monday the 6th of September will just be Year 7s in school. We are putting together a programme so that the students can be orientated around the school. They'll be with their tutors for the whole day in their tutor groups. They'll be taking part in lots of different activities to make sure that they are confident in where items are around the school, where the rooms are, making sure they know where their lockers are, making sure they know where the canteen is, really important for purchasing food, making sure they can log on to the school computers. And there'll be a couple of tests for them to take during the day as well. Nothing big, just a couple of things just to see where they're at in this time that we've experienced now post-COVID. Students haven't been able to take their usual SAT tests. So we have been given very, very limited data. So what we need to do is have a look at all of the students and just see where they're at academic ability wise, but nothing to worry about. So that'll be on Monday the 6th of September. Then in the evening, there will be a parents' evening. So it'll be a welcome to all of our community, all of our parents from Year 7, welcoming you into the school. And we'll put on a presentation just so that you can meet us all face to face rather than the virtual event that we've been putting together so far. And that'll be on Monday, the 6th of September in the evening. And we will confirm times nearer to that date. So as we've mentioned before, the tutor group system we have here is a horizontal tutor group system. We have year 7s only in each tutor group, and the tutor group will arrive at school and be in their seats in their tutor room, their tutor base, by 8:40. So it means that students will have to arrive to school in plenty of time to make sure that they have filled up water bottles, gone to the toilet, washed their hands, all those things ready, so they are sitting down in their seats at 8:40 for tutor time. I just wanted to put that message across because lots of students will arrive to school thinking that they get into school at 8:40, but they have to actually be in their seats in tutor time at 8:40 in the morning. We have then a 15-minute tutor time from 8:40 to 8:55, and it is a learning period. So we've created what we think are a lovely blend of students in each tutor group. We have looked at many different factors and created a lovely blend of diversity so that everyone in the tutor group gets to learn off of each other and progress forwards as a lovely little family in each tutor base. We have lots of key focuses in tutor time to do with citizenship, and there'll be a real emphasis on well-being, but one of our key focuses of tutor time is to develop good reading habits, and there will be lots of opportunities for tutees to sit with their tutors and do some reading. There'll be lots of interactions, but that will be a key focus of tutor time. Here in front of you is a list of all of our tutor contacts for each tutor group, divided up into the community, so Broadwater, Heen, Salvington and Tarring, and then B1, B2 for Broadwater, H1, H2 for Heen, S1, S2 for Salvington, and T1, T2 for Tarring. And there are the email contacts for tutors. Please can you make your first point of contact your form tutor? The form tutor will see students every single day in the morning, and we would really like that to be the first point of contact for any questions. The form tutor will then hopefully be able to answer any questions that you have, and if they can't, they will direct your query to someone else in the school that can answer that. So it may be myself, it may be Mrs. Green, our pastoral leader, or it may be a subject lead in the school who can answer your question. But the list there, can you please make a note of who the form tutor is again and their contact email so that any contact can be made with the form tutor first, and they will then direct your query to make sure that hopefully we can answer your question appropriately. This is our ready to learn equipment list. You will see there are quite a few items on there, and this might be quite a big transition for many students who've not been used to taking charge of their own belongings at school. There are some primary schools that do insist that students take care of their own belongings and things like equipment, taking them from class to class. But for many students, this is quite a big transition step. I'll just let you digest that list. Please make sure that you purchase all of those items and spares where at all possible for things like pens, and students will need these items in their bag every single day here at Worthing High. There will be tutor checks carried out first thing in the morning, and students will be required to show their tutor that they have all of the right equipment so that they are ready to learn for the day. Wherever possible, please make sure that items are labelled, and I would definitely advise, without a shadow of a doubt, all uniform items are labelled with the rightful owner's name on them, so that if items such as PE kit do get lost and left behind in the changing room, which happens on a daily basis, then we can get all items back to their rightful owners. Every student at Worthing High has a school planner where they can organise their time, they can store their timetable, they can write down homework. And the other thing that we have, which is a great learning tool, is Show My Homework. This is a fantastic website. This is for students, this is for teachers, and this is also for parents as well. So on this website, every child and every parent will have a login, and every teacher has a login too, where they will set the homework for their students in their classes. So what will happen, the student will log on to Show My Homework, and they'll see they have a piece of homework which has been set for each subject. The teacher will introduce that piece of homework in the lesson, and then they will tell them to log on to Show My Homework when they get home. to view what that piece of homework is. The homework will quite often have resources, it will have instructions, there may be links to websites, but one of the most important things is it has a deadline of when that homework is due in. Now, as a parent, you will have access to that portal too, and you'll be able to see what homework your son or daughter has to complete. You can set up notifications if you have a smartphone or a smart device where you can have the notifications set. So a night before an item of homework is due, you can speak to your son or daughter and say, right, as an example, you had English that was due in for tomorrow and I would like to see that piece of homework, and then there'll be no worries about them turning up to the lesson the following day, showing that piece of homework to the teacher and handed it in on time. So this is a really, really important website. You will be given a login, and please make sure that you log into this and check all of the homework that is being set, and just make sure that your son or daughter is completing all homework to the best of their ability. And this will really kind of make their learning journey much greater here at Worthing High.
Hello, Nick Mariosa, Senior Assistant Head Teacher. The next few slides we'll be looking at the opportunities that go beyond the curriculum and support your son and daughter's personal development at Worthing High School. There are various rewards at Worthing High School, most of which centre around the merits that are issued to students both in class and outside of class. The merits that are issued are based upon our core values. The merit badges that students can receive in Year 7, Year 8 and Year 9 are at bronze, silver and gold level. Bronze badges can be received if students are above 96% attendance and have 40 plus points. Silver is 70 and gold is 90, and different badges are issued for different year groups. Reward breakfasts occur each half term, and each student has the opportunity to be at a reward breakfast based upon their attendance, behaviour and merits issued for that half term, which all reset down to 0 for the reward breakfast invitation. So every student has the opportunity to attend each half term. Reward trips are also linked to this as well and occur on a termly basis. We are extremely proud of the enrichment opportunities that are available to students at our school, whether these are on residential trips to places such as Berlin, Ardèche, London, or on the ski trip, or day trips out that take place throughout the course of each year. And our opportunities during focus days allow students to be able to go and experience some of these during the course of the year. In addition to this, we also have a number of different community events as well, whether this is doing the Christmas hampers or going out and volunteering or being involved in our sponsored walk, which happens every 2 years for all students throughout the school in support of Chestnut Tree House. DFE also plays an important part in our school, and students have the opportunity to undertake the bronze accreditation during Year 10. Our first trip with Year 7 is designed to aid the transition from primary school to secondary school and focus on team building. We're currently working with PGL in order to provide more details about what this trip will look like in September, and more information will follow. Wellbeing sits at the centre of our core values. Maintaining a healthy lifestyle both inside and outside of school is something that we actively encourage to all of our students. Celebration of what students achieve both inside and outside of school is something that we do on a regular basis through things such as our Twitter and assemblies. Maintaining communication with you as a family is essential in order for us to try to maximise the potential that your child can achieve at Worthing High School. Lastly, supporting your child and others at our school can come about from time, contacts and experience that you might have that can enable us to provide better opportunities for all students. More details about Friends of Worthing High and Parent Forum can be found on our website.
Hello, I'm Adrian Cook, Deputy Head Teacher. I'm going to talk to you about the curriculum here at Worthing High School. When you arrive at Worthing High, you'll see that we place a big emphasis on reading, and we want you to develop positive reading habits. We feel that if you can read well and you have good reading habits, this will help you in every single subject. One of the things we will be doing to make sure that you try and develop these positive reading habits is placing an emphasis in tutor time. Throughout your time in Year 7 in tutor time, you will read a number of different novels. Now, primarily these are for you to enjoy, but also, as I say, to try and give you those good reading habits. We have a literacy coordinator in place called Miss Beckford, who is working on the literacy programme across the curriculum and will be working on new ways to try and encourage you to read and enjoy reading. We hope all of our students in Year 7 will turn into keen readers who want to read for pleasure at home. The thing we will also be doing is sending every single Year 7 student a copy of Jaco Jacobs' brilliant book, A Good Day for Climbing Trees. First and foremost, enjoy it. It's a really good book, but make sure you do read it. Look out for the YouTube videos if you would prefer it as an audio book. We've set it up so a number of Year 7 tutors, some important staff and some students as well will read it to you if you would prefer that. But it's a really important way of connecting you all in Year 7 when you arrive, because you would have all read it, hopefully, and because of a number of staff reading it, it gives you something to talk about and it will give you something to discuss that you can share in common. It will just make that transition into Year 7 feel a little bit easier, knowing that you have done something that your peers have done as well. The curriculum at Worthing High School is broad and balanced, and as you'll see from the subject lists on the screen, there are a number of different types of subjects that you will all get to study. In Year 7, you will study 3 languages, French, German and Spanish. And in the summer term, we will decide along with you and your parents which you will continue with. We know a number of you will have concerns about the learning loss during lockdown. And in Term 1, we will be doing all we can to help you to catch up. Every subject will be identifying areas where you might need extra support, and the lessons will be tailored to give you this support. As I mentioned, in Year 7 you will have the opportunity to learn 3 languages, Spanish, French and German. You will spend half a term on each of these. We want to help you to choose which language is going to be best suited to you. And at the moment you might have an idea about this, but what we often find is that students find a real passion or an understanding for a language they didn't know they had. We will work with parents and we will work with students to make sure that the choice you make for your languages is the correct one and the one you are most likely to have success in.
We're really excited to announce our Google Classroom launch from September. As well as our students, as school practitioners, we were also taken on a momentous learning journey as a result of this year's school closures and lockdowns. Although challenging at times, remote learning taught us how we could encourage our students to become independent learners and how to make the most of technology available to enhance students' learning experience. After much research, we feel strongly that the tools offered by Google Classroom are superior to those offered by other companies. Therefore, from September, all homework, coursework and some IT-based classwork will be set on Google Classroom. This will replace our current use of other platforms, including Satchel 1. From a teacher's perspective, Google Classroom allows us to easily set assignments, see students working on assignments in real time, quiz students, track and monitor progress, and contact students and their parents or guardians quickly. As a parent or guardian, you'll be able to subscribe to either a daily or a weekly Guardian summary. In the summary, you'll be able to review missing work, upcoming work, and any newly posted assignments or announcements from your child's class teachers. You will receive an email in September inviting you to subscribe to these Guardian summaries. Alongside this launch, all of our teaching departments will also be activating their own Google sites. These are websites available for our students to access anytime. From the Google sites, students will be able to see what topics they will cover over each academic year and have access to a range of resources to support their independent learning, other revision materials, further reading lists, and links to helpful websites and videos.
In this period before your sons and daughters start school, if you do have any questions, then please do send them into the email address that you can see in front of you. It's transition@worthinghigh.net. That's transition@worthinghigh.net. Please send those questions in and one of the transition team will get back to you, hopefully with the answer. We do have a 48-hour response time to email, so please, if you send a question in, please do give us the time to get back to you with the answer. Or failing that, if you would like to, you could always go directly to the form tutor if it is a question that you think maybe the form tutor could answer. Hello, Mr. Townsend again, and it just leaves me to say thank you very much for taking the time to look at the PowerPoint that we have put together for you. Hopefully you've got lots of information and we have been able to answer any of those questions. But again, if you do have questions you still want us to answer, then please do contact us on the transition email that was provided on the slide before. That's transition@worthinghigh.net. We fully appreciate and understand it's really difficult at the moment, and students will be feeling a little bit nervous about coming up to us, having not really been into the school that much, and they haven't got to meet their form tutors. There'll be different people in their tutor groups. We fully appreciate and understand all of these things. Under normal circumstances would have had everyone into school, but it's just not been possible this year. So please accept our apologies that we have had to do this virtually, and we very much look forward to seeing everyone on Monday the 6th of September. So please have a lovely restful summer, and again we look forward to seeing you on Monday the 6th of September. Thank you very much.